Don't you know, true friends stab you in the front. I wouldn't hold my breath if I was you. You broke my heart and there's nothing you can do. And now you know, true friends stab you in the front. Yesterday they gave us a tag to go. You can show your ID, and they give you.
Love technology. It wants to be a pain. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tiger Talks Wrestling. Host Tony, joined today. Well, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Okay, my name is Eddie. I'm from Bronx, New York, and I'm also the 2002 New York Pizza Contest winner. Yum, yum.
And straight out of the pound, we got Z-Dog from Whitehall, Michigan. Bring it.
Perfect.
We got Z-Dog from Whitehall, Michigan.
Oh, we got a lot to bring today. A lot of things transpired last week in WWE. So we got to go back. And the first thing we got to discuss is a little show called NXT Day. Now, of course, we last were on air the night before Vengeance Day. So, Eddie, we hadn't really talked about this on screen yet. Quite the interesting show Vengeance Day was altogether. I mean, you kick off the show with the finals of the Dusty Cup. Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin against Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. I would say easily an instant classic those two teams put on to start off the show.
Yeah, absolutely. When I saw that match,
Silence from both.
Yeah, I know. It happened. But yeah, with them four guys, Trick, Carmelo and Braun and even Corbin, at least he's not bum ass Corbin anymore. They really put on a good thing. I feel like the chemistry between Braun and Corbin, it gives me a vibe of, see if I'm wrong about this, it gives me a vibe of his uncle and his father. The way they were chemistry in the ring. I mean, I know they're not brothers. Yeah, it gives me a vibe because you could see that Braun wants to do his father. Woof, 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 woof. And Corbin's like, listen, I just want to wrestle and get paid. It comes all that, but it was a good match, and I think it gets into the segue about what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know there was some insane spots in there, which I'll let John talk about in a few minutes. But one spot that really stuck out in my mind was Breakker, hitting that double suplex on both Carmelo and Trick at the same time. That too, because he actually flew with a little assist from Breakker as well with the suicide dive. Something I don't think we've ever seen out of Corbin.
We're not going to say that we're not going to say that Corbin's the next luchador, but hey, it was a good flying, but if he says that he's El Corbo, so let's just go with that.
I mean, who knew the lone wolf just needed a dog to fly?
I know, right?
Right. Hey, and we touched on this a little bit, I believe, last week, Eddie. One thing Corbin can do now is at least he can say after all these years, after I think it was like 6 years, his name is now on the Dusty Cup. In the first. Something Corbin can definitely be happy about and proud of.
Yes, and he also has a better tag team partner.
But he still sucks.
Oh!
Yes.
I know.
He's still bum-ass Corbin. We can't help that.
He has never been as good as a person since he got his haircut. After that, like, not only did his, like, whole everything about him went down, but he's not even the same guy anymore. And that's what sucks. He needs to go back to the real Baron Corbin we all saw, the real lone wolf, to get that spark back, and he never has, and he never will.
And clearly, they both have to figure out how to ride a motorcycle because it looked like they were like, "Oh my God, how do you start a motorcycle?"
It was a good intro for him, I guess, in a way, though. But
the Wolf Dogs.
Of course, Breaker was able to beat Carmelo Hayes, who took a spear for Trick Williams. For the Wolf Dogs to get the win, yeah. So move on from that, you had the no disqualification match between Dijak and Joe Gacy. Those two went everywhere in the arena, I feel like, to beat the hell out of each other. And I don't know what all you can really say about that match other than Joe Gacy's one that definitely doesn't stay down. Hard to keep him down.
It was a match. I mean, it was a good match. Joe Gacy's a tough guy. I mean, I wish they did more of the match, that the guys, go through a wall and they land into a Dairy Queen. I mean, it would have been even more funnier, or go to a supermarket and one of them drink milk and say, "Hey, Dijak," and then beat them and say, pick up on aisle 3.
Little playoff in the Stone Cold Booker.
Yeah.
Market brawl.
Oh, and by the way, shout out to Booker T to get well better. Get well soon because he had surgery. So shout out to the 5-time champ.
I will say, I never really liked Joe Gacy, but let me tell you, watching that match, you couldn't help but like the guy.
Joe Gacy?
Yeah, Joe Gacy.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. All right. We'll move on from there. I'm kind of just skipping over the backstage stuff. I mean, Chase U had their calendar reveal, and they were being sold at the shop area. But the next match, we got Jada Parker and OTM versus the D'Angelo family in the 6-person tag match. Started off hot and heavy with the D'Angelo family going after the other 3 before the match even began. I felt like Eddie was saying about the Gacy and Dijak match. This one was a match. It was there. It was on the card. It felt like it was a filler, pretty much. they had their problems, yes, over the last few weeks on NXT, but did this match really need to be on this show? And did it really solve much? I mean, I personally wasn't a huge fan of the 6-person tag match. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, it made most people more confused why it was even there. Like, there was the build, but yet there really wasn't a strong enough one. And I mean, it could have been just on a regular NXT episode. It didn't have to be on Vengeance Day.
Right.
I agree. Like
Right.
John said, I agree. It was a filler match, and I still think that Crime Time 2.0 needs a little more salt and pepper to get what they're doing.
Way to push it.
Yeah.
Between that and between that and Jada Parker and Adriana Rizzo, I feel like you could tell are still needing improvements too.
Good characters with
Hey,
the
at least
ladies.
the tag team champs got the win.
Good characters with the ladies, but I didn't know who the hell they were until like 2 weeks ago.
Right? Yeah, they did. But moving from there, we got to go into the next match. The women's championship match, or at least how it started. Roxanne Perez one-on-one with Lyra Valkyria. They had a pretty good match going, just the two of them. And then, of course, you see the pop rock. The music hits. Out comes Lola Vice with the referee trying to pull the whole Seth Rollins gimmick here. Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. They didn't say cash in. They put some other word in there. But anyways, not Blair. Wow. Why did I say that?
Wow, way to disrespect.
Tatum Paxley tries to stop her from cashing in. Unsuccessful. I know, right? Wrong. Unsuccessfully tries stopping Lola. Lola gets in the ring with the referee. The match is turned into a triple threat match. Honestly, I felt like the match even got better once it became the triple threat, personally. It was a decent length after it turned into a triple threat. It looked like all three women could have won at different points. And personally, I felt like Roxanne had that match won twice. Once during when it was just the two of them, and then another time during the triple threat once Tatum Paxley unfortunately cost her again. Which of course led to Lyra Valkyria getting her finish, getting the 1, 2, 3, and retaining the women's title. The ending wasn't the greatest, but I still felt like, especially once it became a triple threat, I felt like it became an even better match, personally.
I agree with you. The match got better. Match got better when it was a triple threat match, and I also I think it could be more if they do like a triple threat match, a fatal 4-way at Stand and Delivered. Then they think that's where they're going, because they're going to add Freddy Krueger's daughter to the match.
Yeah, I'm sure she's gonna get involved somewhere somehow.
When you say Freddy Krueger's daughter, we're talking about Annabelle in real life, right?
What do you think?
Yeah. Or whatever, one, two, it depends which way you want to talk about it.
I mean, or if we want to keep going with the horror movies, how about the real life problem child?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
The match was brilliant. I enjoyed every part of it except the last about 25 seconds was the worst part of the match. Except the last about 25 seconds was
Yeah, I'd agree. I would definitely agree with that. Having Tatum get involved and now costing Roxanne all of it.
Is this really going to lead to a Lyra versus Tatum at the big show right before Mania?
I would prefer a fatal
I
four-way.
personally wouldn't be surprised if it did. I mean,
it's giving me it's giving me Trish Stratus, Mickey James vibes.
That could happen.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's what Hope said too. I could see something like that happening. That's for sure. But all right, we'll move on. Next up, they had the NXT North American Championship match as Obafemi defended against Dragon Lee. Yeah, this match was there as well. I felt like another match that wasn't the greatest, but it showed off Obafemi pretty decently, I felt like, for the most part, as the new champion and the new kid on the block, if you will.
So basically, we got Rey Mysterio 2.0 going up against the love child of Odyssey Jones and Omos.
See, I got to get you there. I get a vibe of All-Man Johnson.
You know, now that I think about that, yeah, I could see that more. Yeah.
I feel like it's All-Man Johnson and the love child of Pablo Montoya.
Ahmed Johnson meets Coco Beware with the speed.
Oh yeah. Only thing we need is Frankie there, and it'd be a perfect match.
Yeah. But I felt like we could have seen better from Dragon Lee, knowing how good he's been in previous matches, but I don't know if it's just because it was such a bigger guy and he's supposed to look bad pretty much in the match or what, but a lame match. Let's put it that way.
Is he still on the main roster?
Win before it even started.
Is he still on the main roster?
Believe me,
he's still
supposed to be part of.
Who?
Dragon Lee.
I think he's still on the SmackDown roster.
Is he still on the SmackDown roster?
I believe so. I know he hasn't been on SmackDown in quite a while, but I believe he's still supposed to be part of the roster. We'll have to wait and see.
So has Obafemi...
Shall we move on to the main event? Or is there anything else you want to talk about? Has Obafemi done what?
Has he lost a match yet?
No, he has not lost yet. He is currently undefeated since he started in NXT. He might have lost, I don't know for sure because I don't watch it, but he might have lost a match on their whatever the other show is that they have on Peacock, the NXT show on Friday.
Next level.
Is it Level Up or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He might have lost a match on there. I don't know for sure, but on NXT TV, I know he hasn't lost yet.
Okay.
All right. So I think we can go on to the main event then now. And I know you guys are going to have a field day, I'm sure, with this one. Of course, you got Trick Williams with Carmelo Hayes in the corner, going up against the Mad Dragon himself, Ilya Dragunov, for the NXT Championship. I will say this match was easily the match of the night. It had everything you'd want out of it, and even after the match, it had what you would expect, honestly. What many people expected. It looked like there was a couple times that Trick might have had the NXT Championship won. However, in the end, things did not plan out that way, as we've seen. What did you guys think of this match before we talk about what happened afterwards?
The match was downright one of the best matches of the night. You're correct. Trick showed me that he could be a top dog, but not for the world title. Maybe for going up against Omicron or whatever. you know. I think if Trick will get another shot at the North American title, it'd be great. Yeah, the North America, I think it'd be great to get that. But he showed people that he could be with the top dogs, and that's why I'm going to go with there. Elio was great. I can't wait to see what his next feud is. But, yeah, what a great showing by Trick. And, Elio does what he does.
So, easily match of the night, 100%. My only thing is, I feel like it could have been a smidge better.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it was great all the way through, but I feel like there was spots where they could have done a little more than what they did. And, I mean, and like you said before, that based on the match that happened in the beginning, we knew what was going to happen in the main event. Trick was going to come up short, which sucks because Trick is due for a championship. I mean, he's had one, but actually a championship run, not I took the title from Dom just to get screwed the next week.
Right.
But he's more than deserving. And Melo took a shot in the end. We all saw it coming. Melo took a shot. And like it goes, Melo don't miss. And we knew it was coming. I didn't like it. And I've already given you crap about it. But, I mean, it is what it is. It just didn't sit right with me to end it that way. That's all.
That's all it is. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah. I said to Tony after that happened, I said, I think I like Carmelo Hayes more better than a heel than a face because he could do more with his ability, and I think he will work good as a heel. As a face, he was too lovable, and I think it hurt him a little bit. But then the guy had talent, and the feud with him and Trick is going to be, hopefully, it'll be up in the main roster and not on NXT. And we have to give it up to Shawn Michaels. I feel like every time where there's an angle with somebody turning, I feel like Shawn Michaels goes back to his rocker days, and nope, not doing that. Go back to his rocker days and say, hey, use my leather jacket from when I turned on Marty Jannetty.
I could see them like keeping the feud on NXT and then having.
I mean,
what's the name of their show right before Mania? Is it
Stand and Deliver?
I could see on Stand and Deliver, they say like loser leaves, and have Trick beat Melo, and that's when Melo will finally be full-fledged SmackDown.
I don't think it'll quite go down that way, but something like that, possibly. But yes,
Or it could
easily
be a
match of the
super
night.
kick at a barbershop.
Carlo turning on Trick was to be expected. Yeah, it could be. But yeah. All in all, I felt like Vengeance Day was kind of a, well, I'll put it away a certain individual in a different company would call it mid compared to most premium live events we get from NXT. It could have been much better than what it was. In my opinion, anyway.
I give the show a 4 out of 10, and that's just because I think the main event saved it, and then the heel turn.
Right.
I would give it about a 5.5.
Those are the main good parts about it. No offense to the first match, because the first match was good. I'd do a 5. It's hard to say. Personally, I think it's hard to say that about an NXT premium live event because of the track record of the premium live events, but this one just didn't match up. And I expect bigger things from Stand and Deliver. That's for sure. All right, we'll move on. Yeah. Monday Night Raw this past week.
Excuse me, you got to get
Kick
the name
off
of
the
the
show
properly.
With the World Heavyweight Champion. What, Monday Night Raleigh? Is that what you trying to tell me?
Yes, but you got to say it right.
Yeah.
Anywho, we kick off the show with the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Freakin', who calls out Cody Rhodes as Seth is still trying to convince Cody to pick him. I'm missing something, apparently. You guys are laughing over there. My internet is being choppy. I hear a lot of noise in the background. So over the last 2 weeks, including you can dab on him, including here, I felt like Seth gave compelling arguments as to why Cody should pick him for WrestleMania, the world title. It was nice to have Drew McIntyre come out there to try and convince Cody otherwise. I mean, of course, Drew has his own ulterior motive between those three that led to Drew attacking another injured man. Anyway.
Why, when you messaged me, so you had time link for Miss Donna and you put the water.
Close that out. I'll see if my.
Wow.
What do you guys think of the whole opening promo on Monday Night?
It's probably, it was a great promo. I thought the suspense was there, the build was there, and you actually believe, is Drew actually being nice about something? And then you realize, no, Drew's just being a little dick like he is. But great promo, great way to start the show, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree with John that, it was a good promo. And you can see the WWE is trying to fill something that they thought. When I say fill, I mean CM Punk. They're trying to figure out who's going to be Seth's opponent for Mania now that, the guy that said he's the best in the world, but he should be limping into WrestleMania. So great promo by three of them, and we already know what's going to happen with our next thing that we talk about, but Yeah, Drew is just being Drew, and it came out really perfect.
I would agree. There we move on to our first match, the Fatal 4-Way match, to determine who would go on to this week's SmackDown to face British Strong Style to figure out who would go on to face the tag team champs at Elimination Chamber. We had the Creed brothers, Imperium, DIY, and of course the New Day. A great match between those four teams. I wouldn't say, I mean, if you look back at the Fatal 4-Way tag team match we had at WrestleMania last year, this wasn't quite as good as that, I felt like, but it was close to it. Because I felt like these four teams really shined and were given a lot of time to do what they needed to do to make each team look good in this match. And continue rivalries for that matter as well.
Yeah, I mean, I loved all four. I love all the team. They all got their work in, and I feel like they did what they had to do to show off all their talent. I mean, personally, I knew what the outcome was going to be, but I just wish they would have gave the Creed brothers a little more because they've been showing people that they're ready for the main roster. But yeah, that's just the one critique. I wish they gave them more time to show what they did.
I agree with Eddie on that. I mean,
fair.
All four were good teams, and as much as I want to see the Creed brothers in the spot, I feel like they have the right team there to win it, being the DIY. But you can't you can't talk less about the Creed brothers because seeing Brutus Creed, this big old Brutus Creed, doing a Brutus ball off the top rope. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I feel like they should have won, right? But it was a great ending of the match.
He did it multiple
DIY
times.
Deserved it.
Yes, they did. Of course, hitting the meat in the middle on Giovanni Vinci to get the 1-2-3. I must say, over the last couple weeks, I have really enjoyed how booking DIY. I mean, obviously they lost their match against Judgment Day a week or two ago, but still, I feel like they've been given a lot more of an opportunity over the last month or so than what they were getting beforehand. They kind of proved here why they are close to the top division on Raw. But of course, also when you talk about that tag team match, you can't forget about Imperium and New Day. I mean, we didn't talk about them, but the rivalry between those two teams obviously continued during this match as well. And things just seem to keep getting more and more heated every week between those two teams. As we'll talk more about them even later in this show, too, from Raw.
Yep.
From there, we go in. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. I mean, they showed Shayna Baszler in her locker room talking from earlier in the night, but they've done this over the last couple weeks. They had then show Becky Lynch on her walk to the ring and have her cut a promo. What do you think of them all of a sudden having some of these superstars cutting promos as they're walking to the ring? Personally, I feel like it's making it feel more like a sport, I guess, or something that effect. I don't know how exactly to put it, but I enjoy it myself. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I see what they're doing. And it's cool because you're seeing people do this that you're not accustomed to. So it's like seeing people you might not like or don't even know if you really care to see getting more of a spotlight, and it's like bringing more people, more fans to that certain person. So kind of bring like a sporting, almost like a UFC feel to it when it comes to the competitors.
Yeah.
I don't have to say anything. He just said what I was going to say.
So there you go.
I just have to say one.
Then we'll go into the match.
I just have to say one word about that, what he just did to me. Damn.
Damn.
I know this PG.
All right. PG. Who's PG? Especially if we get him back on here.
Oh yeah.
All right.
It'd be like welcome back to the Attitude Era.
All right. But anyways, out of that, we got the rematch from WrestleMania 4 years ago, as you got the man Becky Lynch versus the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, in the first Women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Honestly, I don't think it was their best match these two women have had against each other, but it wasn't bad either, in my opinion. I think we all knew who was going to come out the victor, even though it looked like at times Shayna possibly could win, but we still, I think, all knew that Becky was going to be the one to advance to her apparently very first Women's Elimination Chamber match.
You just said we all knew that was going to be big time back. I mean, yeah. I mean, Shayna Baszler, and I'm going to say this about her. I love her a lot. But she has fell flat on her face after that match with that horrible match with Ronda Rousey in Detroit. She has just fell flat.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And please don't take this wrong. I feel like she's the next Dana Brooke.
Oh, Lord.
She's just there. They could do so much with her. But I feel like she's just there because they don't know what to do with her. I mean, look at the comparison.
Yeah.
Look at the comparison from the main roster to NXT. That's two different Shayna Baszlers.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Shayna Baszler that was an ass
never
kicker
gotten the
in
NXT,
and she was an ace of the spade. Now she's the Joker.
Yeah, you're not wrong. John, what's your take on all this?
I mean, I get they had to have the match. It was a qualifying match, but it's like Shayna Baszler should be in the chamber. She set so many records when she was in her first chamber match. And to have her lose to the potential chamber winner, I say potential because it's still potential.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it wasn't the best match for either of them. It wasn't the worst either. I thought they could have both done better. But in the end, you got the right winner.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So let me ask you this, Eddie. You mentioned comparison between Shayna and Dana. Do you think maybe it's about time for WWE just to cut ties with Shayna Baszler, let her go off, and maybe join the other members of UFC's Four Horsewomen off in Ring of Honor or wherever all they are?
Yes, I do. I don't want to say that, but I think she already accomplished what she can. I mean, she was former NXT champion, former whatever that plastic tag team title, two-time NXT champ. You know, she was tag team champion, but that was on NXT. She really hasn't clicked. All right, when she first came to the main roster, they made her a dominant bitch. But right now, she is stuck in a tag team with all right. Her and Starks are good, but how many times you got to put her in a tag team? Let her loose or send it back to NXT. Send it back to NXT and let her do what she does best, to kick ass and take names.
Right.
And if you don't want to do that, let her go. Let her be with her girls. Because if you I can't watch Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has so many people that are good. She could flourish in Ring of Honor. She's not doing that right now in NXT or WWE. Or, it sucks that she's not going to be in the chamber because, man, I can see so much potential, but it's like, it's not her. It's creative. They're like, well, we don't want her because we don't know what she's going to do. She either got to find something or change the character.
I think WWE needs to loan her out to Impact because I think with the talent on Impact, she could flourish there too.
Yeah.
And it would be amazing to see like Jordan Grace versus Shayna. That'd be a hell of a match.
Yeah. Well, if they do end up doing more things with Impact Wrestling or with TNA Wrestling, then yeah, I would agree. Somebody like a Shayna Baszler could benefit from getting a shot over there as well. But who knows what they'll do with TNA Wrestling, especially since they did fire Scott D'Amore and have a new president over there too. So,
right,
that was just story, stupid. But...
Yeah, I'd agree. After that match, we would find out that next week's qualifying match will feature your favorite, John, in her first singles match since returning. Liv Morgan
about it.
Going up against Shayna's other Shayna's tag team partner, Zoe Stark. I'm sure you had to be happy to hear that Liv Morgan's going to be a part of the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. I'm sure she will win and qualify to be in the Elimination Chamber with Becky, and well, we'll get to the other person later.
And she not only will she qualify, she will be in the final match for 100%, possibly better.
We shall see. All right. We'll go from there. I got to mention this part because you can't go past it. Rhea Ripley, Adam Pearce was backstage reading the riot act to Drew McIntyre because Drew attacked another person when he went after Seth Rollins. But Drew tells him he needs to get control of his own show as Rhea Ripley music hits and she heads out to the ring because Rhea has a bone to pick with Nia Jax after what happened last week. Pearce goes out there to try and stop Rhea and tells Rhea that Rhea will get Nia Jax at the Elimination Chamber with the Women's World Championship on the line. That brings out Nia Jax, and the brawl goes on. You get security out there, but they were no match for Rhea or Nia. Nia ends up flattening the women's champion yet again. I have a feeling this is going to be a recurring theme as we head towards Elimination Chamber. What do you guys think of this whole promo and destruction from Nia Jax again?
Honestly, it's kind of boring because it's the same thing every week. We get it. You're a big bad bitch. We get it. You can beat up people with one-on-one, but that doesn't mean you're gonna win a match.
I just want King Kong Bundy to go away.
Wow.
I love Nia,
Well,
but not to disrespect the woman, but I just think she just needs to go away. Go do something. You're really talented, but just win a tournament or something. We already know what WrestleMania is gonna look like. Do something. Just go away. I mean, it's like I'm tired of seeing mommy getting smashed by a woman, that thinks that she's entitled to everything, which she isn't.
nice. I like how you put that. All right. So from there, we go on to the mixed tag team match, as you got representing the Alpha Academy, Maxine Dupree and Akira Tozawa going up against the Viking Raiders, Ivar and Valhalla. This, we were calling the women's tag team matches recently on Raw. The bathroom break, I would last Monday. I mean, Ivar was impressive as always. He squashed Tozawa. He had to figure that was coming. He had to get his payback. Ivar and Valhalla, of course, get the win. What else is there to say about that match? I got nothing.
That there was no Tozawa shuffle anymore.
Well, the other thing I got to say about that match is shall we call that the pee break of the year?
Perhaps.
I like the Viking Raiders. You can call them the Oakland Raiders or whatever you feel like. I mean, how many times can you have Tozawa and Maxine Dupree, get their ass kicked by a guy and Valhalla that looks like she could poke somebody with her horns? Hell, Michael Cole was happy that the horns were back. Like, guy, get a life. But yeah, same old man, same old thing. Let's move on to the next one.
And I think they need to move away from the Viking Raiders and Alpha Academy rivalry into something different, which they might be doing with Ivar, as we'll get into in a little while. Do you want to say anything about that before I move on, John?
I got one thing to say about that. Thank you.
All right. Judgment Day had a backstage promo, which once the other members left, Truth was in there and talked with Priest a little. You get your funny and yuck stuff in there again. But Priest left Truth Judgment Day locker room, and Truth happened to find a box with a bunch of Judgment Day t-shirts in it that have our Truth's name at the end of it. Which leads us into the next match, which was JD McDonough with Dom, of course, in his corner, against The Miz. During said match, our Truth comes out with the box of the t-shirts to hand out to crowd members. But it's not the fact that he was just out there handing them to the crowd. It's what happened towards the end of the match that really change the momentum in the match. As Truth would actually, well, Dom was going after Miz. Miz had him going back, and Dom was right by the barricade. Truth puts a t-shirt on Dominic Mysterio, kind of like a straight jacket, I do believe somebody mentioned in here the other day. And left Dom open for a boot from Miz, which also led to Miz getting a little bit on her hand, but it looked like JD might actually have been able to pull off the win. Truth pops up on the apron to finally hand JD his cut from the previous t-shirts that were sold. JD, once too busy paying attention to that, gets caught off guard, gets a skull-crushing finale, money goes flying everywhere. Miz actually picks up another victory this year.
He's on a roll.
What else you guys got to say about that one? Yes, this has been on a roll.
Funny stuff from R-Truth. Always a pleasure watching him, and him and the judges, they click. From the match itself, Miz actually won a couple of matches by beating JD McDonald's. You know, so yeah, it is what it is.
No.
John, what's your take on it?
It was the best ending of the match. I mean, watching the money rain down like all of JD McDonough's hopes and dreams, priceless.
Right.
Oh, don't say the word.
And then to see how Truth go and celebrate with Miz, well, he's supposed to be a member of the Judgment Day too.
I mean, it's just an awesome truth.
Oh.
What, you think something?
Do I think the Miz and
Priceless?
R-Truth are going to take the tag titles at Mania? Of course.
Right?
Oh no! You really think that? I don't know, man. It's a. I think it'd be a little shocking to do.
Right? I mean, who would have thought that?
I know. Yeah. It'd be like this when I try to do the final.
We'll move from there. I want to bring up this part just because of what happened. Went back to Adam Pearce talking to Vinci and Kaiser as they're discussing the 600-day celebration for Gunther coming up. And Braun Breaker comes into the office. The reason I had to bring this up is because of who Braun Breaker is rumored to be facing at WrestleMania. That being, of course, the ring general himself, Gunther. So perhaps this was a little bit of the beginning of that storyline, as he had a little meeting with the other two members of Imperium there. As, of course, Adam Pearce is still trying to get Breaker to sign with Monday Night Raw. We'll see what happens with that. So then we go into the 600-day celebration for the Ring General's Intercontinental Championship reign. And Gunther tells Kaiser and Vinci that it's all nice that they're giving him the celebration, but not to be doing it anymore because he beneath him pretty much doesn't need all this pop and circumstance. But he was looking forward to seeing who his next challenger was. He felt like he'd beaten everybody that was worth having an opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship over the last 600 days. Which brings out, of course, main event Jey Uso. who's looking for his very first piece of singles gold. Yeet.
Yeet.
So I do have to say, during this promo, the one part that sticks out the most, of course, I think probably to everybody, Gunther telling Jey Uso that he's going to hit him so hard that he would wish he was back in the days where nobody could tell him and Jimmy apart. Which is, I think we all remember those days still. Gunther kind of lit into Jey Uso on the microphone in this promo, I felt like. Not just with that part, but other things too. Jay kind of tried to come back at Gunther, but I still felt like Gunther had the better of Jey Uso in this promo battle, if you will. Before the New Day would come out and get involved as well, but interesting to see where things will go from there once, obviously Imperium did beat down Jay before Kofi and Xavier made the save. And we got a 6-man tag coming up this next week between those 6 guys. What do you guys think of all the things that transpired during the 600-day celebration? 605 days, really, at that point.
I actually love the promo because it showed Gunther's, work on the mic. Going back that he's gonna bitch slap Jay back to his old Usi way. I like the way he said it. He acknowledged him as, him the tag team champions, and he only did 50% of the work. But it shows Gunther that he can handle anybody, and he did a pretty good job. I just felt like Jay was lost in the promo, that he didn't expect Gunther to overshadow him.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way too. Yes, we see you have a cat.
Yeah. My little baby.
Oh my God, John, I just thought about this. The new Coco Beware.
Oh, me or because it's my parrot?
Yeah. I just asked you one question. Can you sing the song Pile Driver?
No, I'll ruin it.
Yeah. First time love, the fight, Pile Driver. Yeah, the Pile Driver.
It's funny that is. John, what was your take on that whole celebration promo?
I thought the celebration of Walter was amazing, and it'd be so much better if the rest of Imperium could just go die and not be a part of it.
Well,
we can't always get what we want. But I want to see Jey Uso, get smacked out of main event back to undercard. That'd be pretty cool.
Me?
Just yeet him out of here. Boom. Poof. Bitch be gone. You do not belong in the cabinet. No. Come here.
I will admit, it was somebody else I would probably seen come out in that spot instead of Jey Uso, but we'll get into that later. So move from there you got the rematch for the women's tag team titles as Katana and Kaden went up against the Kabuki Warriors. It was a decent match between those two teams. It was a little bit sloppy, though, at times, honestly. And even the ending came off pretty sloppy, I felt like, though. Kabuki Warriors, of course, retaining because they weren't going to lose that quick. Lose the titles back to Katana and Kaden. Yeah. That's my thought on it. It had its moments, but it was pretty sloppy for the most part. What do you guys think?
Worst match of the night.
Yeah, that's what you get when you have the Jumping Bomb Angels. That's what you get when you have the Jumping Bomb Angels and Private Party going after one another.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
This is why, and John hasn't been around for a while. John hasn't been around for a while. Me and Tony were talking about that. I want to get your opinion. I think they should dissolve the tag team titles and make a women's intercontinental title. What do you think about that?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I think not only they should get rid of them, I think they should do a women's intercontinental and not like a women's US or something as well.
Yeah.
Because you have so many good women that you need to have more titles. And I get not all of them are going to be top stars. You got to have that mid-couple because you have talent that just needs that title to kind of shine and show they belong higher up in the hierarchy or food chain, if you want to say.
Right. Have the workhorses in the women's division too, not just in the men's division, if you look at it that way.
Right.
All right. But you got the main event of Monday Night Raw. You got the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. We want Cody. As everybody was chanting, or mostly everybody. Going up against Shinsuke Nakamura. Rocky sucks. In a bull rope match, that they made sure to point out here, and it was pretty cool, was the bull rope that was used for this match was actually the same one that was used for the very first bull rope match between Dusty Rhodes and was it Magnum TA, I think? Or Barry Windham, one of the two.
Barry Windham.
But anyways, same bull rope that was used in the very first bull rope match. Yeah, Barry Windham back in the NWA. Remember right? It's a pretty good match. I felt like between Cody and Shinsuke. I was glad they put a stipulation on it since we were seeing this match again. And there was a little bit of color to it. Not a lot, but there's still a little. We all knew Cody was going to walk out with the win. And he's pretty much going to win every match, I'm sure, leading through WrestleMania still. So, which makes sense with what we'll get to in a little bit. What do you guys think of the match before what happened after the match as well?
Let's say that anybody from the Rhodes family will not lose a bull rope match. It's a family legacy. They're not going to lose.
Well, I don't know about that being the case for all Rhodes, because I could see one specific Rhodes losing a bull rope match potentially.
But yeah, it's a family history, So I love the match, but I think the feud has to end.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
I agree. The feud has to end. But I will admit, I love seeing Cody do the low blows and cheap shots on Shinsuke. Yeah, it was awesome. And then to what you were saying, Tony, about, a certain Rhodes person couldn't win. Just gotta sprinkle some gold dust on it. It'll be okay.
Perhaps.
Or you
But
could
that
just call
road
him,
has
or you could just call him a natural.
Yeah. So, of course, after that, Drew McIntyre comes out and has to get his payback on Cody Rhodes because Cody getting the better of Drew during that big promo and knocking him out of the ring. As Drew wants Cody to finish the story, so Drew comes out and hits Claymore on Cody to end the show. Yeah. So, what was you guys' overall take on this past Monday's Raw?
I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And I was gonna have it at a 7 out of 10, but I think I got the 8 because the ending after the match was just insane, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Wow. No.
Although Sammy wasn't nowhere near, but so.
No, not 8 out of 10. Yeah, no. I give it a 6 out of 10. There were some good spots there, with the triple threat tag team match, with the main event, the promo, basically it. Because we have the real story coming up pretty soon that's gonna top. I give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was a lackluster Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I would say after last week's Monday Night Raw that we raved so much about on here, which was great. Last week's Raw was. This one kind of took a little bit of a nosedive compared to last week's. I felt like so. Definitely wasn't as good of a show. So
Let's say this. I felt like I was watching an episode of AEW.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Let's move on, shall we? To NXT. Off of Vengeance Day, they kick off the show with my guy Carmelo Hayes coming out in quite the unique outfit, sitting in the ring to a loud chorus of boos and many, many different chants from the crowd. Nuclear heat, I would say, Carmelo Hayes got from that crowd. Among many other chants, yes, he got that. All that just for Melo to say, not right now, and walk off. He didn't say much, but he said enough, I felt like, to kick off the show.
Definitely, he did have some.
Of course, then we get Corbin
he did have some good points, and I just want to know where he got the Easy E from the NWA jacket from.
He got straight out of Compton.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I know, right? Perhaps he did. All right. There you got Corbin and Breaker out there to talk about their Dusty Cup win, leading to them being on commentary for the first match. As you got Nathan Fraser and Axiom going up against Malik Blade and Idris Anafi. A really good tag team match. Malik Blade and Idris Anafi, I feel like keep getting better and better every time you see them. But their main problem is they just can't click enough to pick up a win. Every time you see them, it seems like they're losing. And that was the case here again on NXT. They came up short against Fraser and Axiom, which is to be expected because Fraser and Axiom have been, of course, had a lot more spotlight on them. After the match, they both get taken out by Corbin and Breaker, who stand tall and have a little stare down with the tag team champs, Tony D and Stax, as they'll get their tag team title match next week. It was revealed. What do you guys take of that opening contest and everything that transpired afterwards?
Well, I mean, it involved Axiom and Frazier. Those two, even as single stars, are amazing. When you put them together as a tag team, it is like an acrobatic clinic, and you can't go wrong with that. And yes, Blade and Anafi, they didn't get the win, but just to be put in a match like that can help you grow and show what more you're capable of doing. So great match all around. Love the first match of the show. Amazing.
Every time I look at Nexium and Ian Frazier, I swear they remind me of like Eddie and Ray, because they click together. I mean, the other guys, I don't. They just got to click.
Comparison.
Yeah, I mean they just got to click, and I felt like that opening promo with Breaker and Corbin, I felt like they overwent their talking, and I was like, wow, did they get cut off because they were talking too much?
Potentially. But I am surprised they're doing that tag team title match so quickly this next week on NXT and not waiting until Stand and Deliver for it. That kind of, to me, solidifies that Braun Breaker won't be part of NXT when it comes to Stand and Deliver, having the match that quick. That's my opinion, anyway.
No, you're absolutely right. We're seeing that Braun Breaker is getting the Batista treatment. And it'd be nice to see where he goes, but we all know he's going to go to Monday Night Raw because he wants that title. And I think it'd be a great filler to see Breaker win his first title on NXT. I mean, on the main roster. I think it'd be great.
Yeah. I got anything you want to add to that before we move on to the next match?
I'm just ready for Breaker to be on the main roster because this has been a long time coming.
That's true. Still got to mention this. Braun Breaker never had a match until he stepped foot in NXT. And he's only been there for 2-3 years? This kid is, I mean, I don't know if it's genetics being a Steiner or what, but he definitely knows his craft in and out of that ring. It seems like picked it up easier than most people do.
You just said what you just said. He's a Steiner and he's the big bad puppy daddy.
He's the nephew of the big bad booty daddy anyway.
Yeah. I mean, long as that he don't add, I think he'll be fine.
Right? All right, we'll move on. So then they go, you get Lexis King. Speaking of people that have famous fathers that wrestled as well, going up against Riley Osborne, who has Andre Chase and Duke Hudson at ringside. But there's a certain other member of Chase U that was missing, as Hale did not come out to watch in the student section because JC Jane told her she needed to play hard to get. Riley looked good at parts during this match, but he made a rookie mistake at the end of it looking up for Thea Hale in the corner in the crowd while he was up on the top rope, which cost him. And you got probably the best coronation we've seen thus far from Lexus King as he picked up the win. That move looked more devastating off the ropes, I thought.
100%. I mean, that move is devastating no matter what. And you do it with the angle that he did off the top ropes. I mean, that's lights out, game changer. 1, 2, 3, match over.
Yeah, I agree. Devastating move. Jack Sparrow's actually doing a great job. With that move. So yeah, I mean it's good, and Chase U. Chase U.
Right? Yeah, unfortunately, I kind of hate to say this, but Riley Osborne's going to have to see himself outside of Chase U before he starts racking up a decent amount of victories in NXT. Because you don't see a whole lot of victories when it comes to Chase U. Yes, they might be former tag team champions. They might get a couple wins here and there, but still. Nothing huge has come out of being a member of Chase U.
Let me say this about Chase U. Terry Funk University could beat their ass.
Well, there's no question about that.
I mean, may he rest in peace, Terry Funk, but middle-aged and crazy could beat the Goofy Bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, Chase U.
Bad that I kind of in a way wanted to see Chase U come to it. You're probably right. The oddities could be.
The Giant Silver could beat them.
I really wish they would have just dismissed. I don't know. All right. Shall we move on past that? I think we can diss that and Chase U all night long.
We should do a segment about that. How much we hate Chase U.
The next match, you got the Prodigy Rock. Maybe. You got the Prodigy Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. Pretty decent match these two had as Roxanne trying to get her payback from Lola getting involved at Vengeance Day. What? But of course, when you talk about the match, you got to talk about the crazy shit that happened at the end of the match, though. Tatum Paxley, who somehow absconded with Lola Vice's contract that she had cashed in on Sunday, has a referee out there and is wanting to cash in her championship opportunity in the middle of this match, which isn't a championship match and doesn't have a champion involved in it. But still, she's trying to cash in when Lola kicks her and then turns around and, of course, eats a pop rock from Roxanne Perez. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne gets the win. Is Tatum Paxley becoming the R-Truth of NXT? Or is it worse?
I feel like R-Truth wrote this match.
Right? Try that now.
Good match by both girls, but the ending was a little screwy. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, what more can you say?
Right. You had to figure Roxanne would win, but not necessarily the way she did. What was your take on it, John?
I mean, I'm going to get crap for this comment, but I honestly don't think that this match should have happened, because I get that Roxanne Perez is upset that Vice cashed in. But it's like, it was bound to happen. And so we got this match. Roxanne wins, which we all knew was going to happen. But they could have done the ending so much better than having Tatum get involved and just like ruining what could have been a decent match. I mean, Roxanne does not need help to win a match. We all know that.
Right. True. Very true. All right. So, now this promo might have took place. I didn't write down when, but might have been before this match or it could have been after. I can't remember. You got the NXT champion Ilya Dragunov coming out to the ring to call out Carmelo Hayes, but instead of Mello, he gets Dijak. And they had words, quite a few words spit back and forth. We know these who had a rivalry not that long ago in NXT. And Dijak ends up punching Dragunov right in the broken nose, making him actually bleed again. And it actually looked like he got his forehead area is where he was bleeding from. And those two got in a pull-apart brawl there, leading into their match that would be taking place in the main event, which we'll get into in a little bit. What do you guys think of the whole situation of course, Ilya first called out Mello, but instead Dijak, of all people, is the one that comes out to confront the champion. And I was thrown off guard because I wasn't expecting Dijak to come out. I expected somebody else to, not Mello, but. That's it, huh? Just that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on then. We got women's tag team action as you got Ren Sinclair and Fallon Henley teaming up against Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. I know certain people in here are not fans of Lash Legend, myself included. Jakara Jackson's pretty decent, I think, in the ring, and so Fallon Henley's really good. We still need to see more from Ren Sinclair / Maddie Renkowski, but this tag team match was there, and I think it served the purpose of what we're going to end up eventually getting to, because I feel like it's going to lead to a Fallon Henley heel turn at some point in time, and she's going to destroy Ren for keep on losing. But we'll see, as Lash Legend would pick up the win over Ren Sinclair. What did you guys take of this whole situation, this match, and everything that transpired?
Well, 2 words. I mean, Fallon Henley was involved. Okay, let's start there. It was a good match. I liked it a lot, and I do agree that Fallon Henley is probably looking at a heel turn, and it'd be a badass heel turn because I mean it's Fallon Henley. She's like the cowgirl of NXT, which reminds me of hardcore country Mickey James. So, I mean, that's going to be amazing. So, yeah.
Right.
John just said it.
Eddie?
That's the only, John just said it. The only thing, yeah, that I'm only looking at one girl, the badass cowgirl, and that's the only thing I'm caring about. All the rest could like go into a dumpster and you light it on fire.
Oh, jeez. Okay then. Off of that match, there was another promo I thought was quite interesting. Josh Briggs in the back I can't remember who he was talking to. It was one of the girls. In comes Jensen Brooks, trying to get the band back together off of seeing Fallon in action. And Josh Briggs actually pushes Brooks up against the lockers and gives him a rude awakening, if you will. Telling him he needs to figure out his own way, pretty much, and go and figure out who he is, find something else, because there's no way they're getting back together. Was the gist of it, anyways. A little bit of tough love, perhaps, as Vic Joseph put it.
I see a match between them two, and plus I see what's his name coming in as his manager, Mr. JBL. So let's just keep it that way. I think it's gonna be a match between them two, and JBL is gonna be in the corner of I forgot the guy's name. Sorry, but yeah, I think JBL is turning because he has that JBL look that JBL
Josh
wants.
Briggs.
Yeah, Josh Briggs, it's not bum ass Corbin. So yeah, I see Briggs teaming up with JBL and they go after his partner and former partner. I think it's going to be like that because you haven't seen him that much on TV. Instead of because I think I would love to see Fallon and him turn heel and be the baddest team in the world. I'm not like a team, but both of them need a facelift.
Yeah, no, I get you. John, anything you got put in there?
I mean, I'll be honest, with these two, I really could care less. The only reason they're relevant to me is because they've been with Fallon. That's the only reason I know who they are.
Fair. I mean, they are former NXT UK Tag Team Champions, but still fair.
Yeah, they're also
right.
Fallon's
Well,
lackeys, so
True. That actually happened sooner than this, but I'm bringing it up now before we get into the main event. Carmelo Hayes did return to the arena, sitting down in the ring again, getting the same chance that he was getting earlier in the night. But this time he would actually explain his reasonings for what he did to Trick, saying that it was always about Melo and Trick was just his number 2 pretty much. But then Trick decided he was equal to Melo, which would never be the case. Definitely can tell where things are heading there. I gotta mention, Melo also did pull an old trick to had Trick's song, Trick Williams' song play during the middle of his promo just to get a little reaction out of the crowd. And no Trick to be seen, unfortunately, for some people, as Melo was able to get his whole itinerary, if you will, out there in mentioning how the NXT Championship revolves around him. And that's pretty much what his eyes are set on, and claims that you won't be seeing Trick Williams anytime again. What was you guys' whole take on Carmelo's actual reason for turning on Trick Williams and finally revealing that he was the one that attacked Trick several months?
that Carmelo's a little bitch and he can't have people taking his spotlight, even though he's. I'm sorry, his time is gone on NXT. He's just go to the main roster. We don't want you anymore.
Just one short word about Mellows. He did whoop that trick. That's the only thing.
He did. Hashtag whooped. All right, so that brings us to the main event. You got NXT champion Ilya Dragunov one-on-one with Dijak. These two guys always have hard-hitting matches against each other. This was no different. See a little bit of blood again, some color in there. In the end, of course, Ilya Dragunov, the champion, gets the win over Dijak. Off of a funny little spot as Dijak has his head, he's down and has his head hanging outside the ring, and Joe Gacy pops out from under the ring with a little puncher that he punches Dijak in the face with, leading into the bombs away, if you will, from Ilya Dragunov to get the win. What was your guys' take on an main event match? The whole Joe Gacy getting involved. Then, of course, afterwards, Carmelo Hayes would come out and, with the NXT title, lay out Ilya Dragunov, making his intentions clear of where he's planning on heading.
Typical match. Ilya won. Dragunov looked like he always does. And Joe Gacy's funny.
That was my favorite part of the match was Joe Gacy.
Right? I too. Like, what the hell?
I mean, the match itself was your usual bloody massacre. And then getting the little comedic thing right there was like amazing. And I mean, your champion won. What else could you ask for?
Yeah. There's one more note I wanted to put in there, and this is not respecting.
Right.
This is not our respecting our leader. Melo don't need the title. He already proved himself as a great champion. He don't need to have another title run as NXT.
I agree.
Go up to the main roster, win the United States title from Logan Paul, Kevin Owens. You know, do what you have to do. I just think the title should stay on Elio, and then maybe a couple months down the road after WrestleMania, you know, somebody else gets the title.
So here's where I mentioned during our Vengeance Day review. I said during our NXT, when we got to NXT, I would tell you what I was thinking come Stand and Deliver. Main event, Stand and Deliver, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship in a triple threat match, including Trick Williams, who will win the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver. That's my bold prediction.
Wow.
And that'll be the last I see of Carmelo Hayes in NXT.
I think it's going to be a fatal four-way.
Who do you think's the fourth member?
You know, see the vignettes?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even talk about that.
It's the guy, I forgot, I can never say his name right. But if you type in them faces, it's a Japanese thing. His contract's up pretty soon. Put him in NXT. Biggest box office smash. I think it'd be great to have him in the Final Four. I know he's new to the company, but man, that would make a good thing. And yes, do I think
Okada?
Yeah.
Okada, yeah, Yusuke Okada. I never even thought of him seeing those vignettes.
You know, now that you point that out, that makes so much more
You could
sense.
be onto something there, though, Eddie.
Yeah. You know why O'Connor's coming? You know why O'Connor's coming to the WWE? He wants to have a match with his old pal, Shinsuke Nakamura.
I mentioned that on the Rumble one.
It could happen. You did, too. Perhaps that could be O'Connor. We'll see.
Because O'Connor's, if you look
you notice
at
how
it,
the announcers don't even mention nothing about that after the video.
Yeah, because O'Connor's contract ends February 29th. It ends this month.
Yeah.
They could do vignettes, but they can't officially show him until he's done with New Japan.
Right. If it is him. Yeah, that person's right. Today is the Chinese Lunar New Year. Wish you all a happy and healthy New Year.
Oh, happy New Year to you.
That. Yes, happy Chinese Lunar New Year. Well, gentlemen, I think we are to the point of the show that's probably going to be the most newsworthy. The WrestleMania 40 kickoff show from Thursday night.
Oh, wait, I did it wrong.
So we kick things off.
Nothing.
Of course.
Damn, I want my fireworks, damn it. No, honey, I don't mean to do it that way.
We want Cody.
My wife is in the. My wife sucks. My wife is in the living room going pew 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 pew
pew. We get a thumbs up. Yes, the pew pew. Anyway.
I feel like the Undertaker's coming out.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? He was at a soccer game doing his entrance.
Was he really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
What is that? It starts with
he was in full Dead Man gear.
Riyadh Cup or something?
In Riyadh. He was in Riyadh for a big soccer game, championship game.
Oh, is it for the UEFA? I forget the rest of it.
I think so. Ronaldo was there.
Yeah.
Oh, we already know that.
So anyway, let's get back on track to what we were. All right. What we were talking about, the WrestleMania kickoff show. We'll get into those two gentlemen in a little bit, but first we want to go through what happened earlier in the show before you get to those guys. The show kicks off. I mean, you got Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, Big E, first time on WWE TV other than the bump in almost 2 years, and the best in the world, CM Punk, all there on giving their spins on how they see things going. I love how Punk says to the crowd, "Where were you in 2013?" as they're chanting "Rocky sucks." He brings up a good point, really. But it was an interesting kickoff show. I mean, you got Triple H coming out there. He says that we're in a new era. This is a new WWE. You haven't seen nothing yet. We're going to see a brand new WWE come WrestleMania and going forward afterwards. How exactly will that be? We'll have to wait and see. It sounds like there's big things coming. I know WrestleMania, they're saying, is going to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time. From that, we get the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, coming out, talking about how things have gone for her big WrestleMania moments that she's had with Sasha, with Asuka, with Becky. Out of order between Becky and Asuka, there was still. Surprised that she actually name dropped Sasha, as Sasha's somebody that they don't usually mention on WWE programming. If you guys got anything to add to any of this, just stop me at any point in time because I'm just running through it real quick. After Bianca, I mean, you get the WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley out there to talk about how she's going home for Elimination Chamber. Defend against Nia Jax, she's going to win. Claims she's going to go on to then enter and exit WrestleMania, the Women's World Champion, instead of going after her. Which brings out the man, Becky Lynch, as we get the man and mommy having their interaction, as Becky would tell Rhea that Rhea will learn how to bottom at WrestleMania. What else did you guys take away from this kickoff show up to that point before we get into the main part of the kickoff show itself?
I forgot how amazing Becky Lynch is on the mic until that press conference.
I agree with you with that one. I also,
right? You can tell they weren't scripted.
I also want to say something that, I love Bianca Belair. Great talent. She's a hardworking girl. Had amazing WrestleMania matches. But I think that, and I told this to Tony, I said, I think that part of the show should have went to Bayley and Io, because they should have been there to pump up their main event for WrestleMania. I feel like WWE dropped the ball. Bayley's just returning back to a face, and you don't do nothing with her. You wait to SmackDown. I think it should have been at the press conference to promote that main event.
I'd agree. I mean, even CM Punk after the kickoff show would go on to social media and say, hey, Bayley deserves all the respect in the world. She even would deserve the main event spot at WrestleMania because she did win the Women's Royal Rumble. So
she pulled the Belair and went from number 3.
Which could be argued. She did win the Rumble. She should be in line for potentially that night 1 main event.
Yeah.
But definitely she should have been a part of the show. All right. I suppose that brings us to the main part of the kickoff show. You bring out the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins, who talks up the world title, of course, and he... As Roman would later put it, his wife's shoes. You see pose on the shoes that Seth was wearing. But nonetheless, Seth would come out there. He talks about the world title, saying that Cody should pick him, and then introduces the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, to come out and make his decision, but instead gets the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and, of course, flanked by Paul Heyman. Yes, we the ones. It's always interesting, I feel like, to have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins paired up together on the microphone. Roman always treats Seth like a little brother, as he did there. They had quite the exchange back and forth mostly Roman getting his part to talk after Seth had his part. Main thing was Roman saying Cody was taking too long to make a decision, and he lost that privilege to make the decision now. So Roman was going to make the decision for him, and Roman chose at WrestleMania 40 to face The Rock for the Undisputed Universal Championship, which of course brings Dwayne out to the stage and get the bunch of different things from Rock as the crowd, of course, split between Rocky sucks, let's go Rock, we want Cody, etc., etc. Rock would bring up the bloodline, even have the bloodline tree on the screen, everybody from the bloodline listed on it, and would say this main event at WrestleMania would be the biggest WrestleMania or biggest main event in pro wrestling history, not WrestleMania, pro wrestling history. And this match was bound by blood, as him and Roman would shake on it, which would bring out the American Nightmare, who would say aptly, "This is bullshit," which he had a point. Cody would mention he's the one that won the Royal Rumble. He's the one that gets to choose the main event of WrestleMania, not Roman Reigns. And then at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes chooses Roman Reigns in the undisputed WWE Universal Championship as his opponent and his opportunity to finally finish the story. Of course, that didn't make Roman happy at all. And we get barbs back and forth between both of them. Roman saying that Cody is just as irrelevant as the American Dream Dusty Rhodes was, which was a zinger. And Cody, of course, then having to bring up Roman's family and mentioning if Roman's grandfather and if The Rock's grandfather, the High Chief, was there, they would be ashamed of Roman Reigns. Which, of course, would bring The Rock back into the fray. You're talking about his blood, that's my blood. Talking about his family, his ancestors, that's my ancestors. His family is my family. Leading to the bitch slap heard around the world from The Rock to Cody Rhodes. Yeah. What was your guys' take on this entire, I don't even know, promo or whatever you want to call it, this entire situation between Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and The Rock? I mean, Seth Rollins even stepped up to Rock after Rock slapped Cody, so they all had to be pulled apart by Triple H and Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis and whoever else was there.
You knew this was going to get out of hand before it even started. There's so much tension with the four of them.
True.
And yes, I mean, Cody finally standing up and going after their family. I mean, with The Rock around, not the smartest move. And he paid for it. But
right.
All the talking that happened after the altercation was, I mean, it was so riveting and thrilling, and it just kept bringing your attention. You couldn't look away, and it was what they wanted. It was full of ratings. It was show-stopping. It was a total bring it. It was the perfect way to have this press conference, and all the trash talking, swearing, talking about family, and how you can't do this because you're in charge. I can do whatever the hell I want. All that, it just made it that much more appealing for everyone that was there, everyone that was watching it around the world. I mean, this just set everyone on a high octane overdrive.
I'm going to add to yours, John. What all you said is correct. And now, because of all this thing that is happening, I'm going to take it from a pay-per-view in 98. WrestleMania 40, the road to WrestleMania, has become the highway to hell. Because this thing is so on fire right now. It's gonna shatter all the WrestleManias. And then the other thing, when The
Oh,
Rock turned
I believe
heel,
that.
and when The Rock turned heel, I just feel bad for him one thing. His football league starts a week before WrestleMania. How the hell is he going to get people to come to all these games when he's a heel and talking bad about them? Bad business decision.
Potentially, I suppose.
You know, but I got to say,
But I don't. Personally, I'm not sure Rock really thinks come and play with it.
yeah, I love the way that they put
Who
both
knows?
families into it. You know, you got the bloodline, the Samoan dynasty, and you got the hard-working baby of the American dream. You know, it fits it. It's going to clash at WrestleMania, and it's going to be the biggest thing. It's going to be the biggest thing since Mr. T and Hulk Hogan.
Right? Going back to 40 years.
Yeah.
But still. Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, what we got out of this press conference, I mean, Punk would have some great liners afterwards saying that Cody should have came back and punched Rock in the face after getting slapped, but kind of put in some zingers against AEW and what happened in AEW there. But still, out of all this, we don't have full-on answers when it comes to WrestleMania, but we do have the main event for WrestleMania, night 2 at least, situated as it will be Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes, at least for now. I say that because Rock would tell Triple H in the back, fix this or we will. And well, there's more to the story when we get to SmackDown. So,
which also means,
nonetheless, I feel like they did with this press conference kickoff show exactly what they wanted to do. Go ahead, John.
which also means, 10 years ago, we had Yesamania. Could this be where, The Rock's on the board? Could he weasel himself in and then say, night 2 is just The Rock versus Roman with the title? But night 1, Cody beats The Rock, earns his spot. We have 2014 all over again, 10 years later, with instead of Daniel Bryan, it's the Cody Rhodes, and it's Bedlam. Let's go.
I have a little different way.
I don't think it's going to go that way, but
I have a really different way. Night 1,
same.
You're going to have a tag team match between The Rock and Roman against Cody and Seth. Hear me out on that one. I feel like it's going to happen that way. Night 2,
Yep.
you're going to have Seth defends his title, whoever wins the Elimination Chamber. And then The Rock inserts himself into the main event of Roman and Cody. And this is where the brilliant plan of The Rock and Cody shits in, that Rock's going to turn on, either The Rock turns on him, or when Roman is ready to finish off, Sikoa's going to hit him with the spike, Rock's going to rock bottom him, and then Cody's going to hit his move, 1, 2, 3. Sikoa is going to turn on Roman. Roman's going to go bye-bye. I feel like The Rock was the one that people want to see this. I have a feeling The Rock is just playing Roman to get infiltration. It looks like it's going that way.
Potentially. I'm not sure exactly how I see the whole night 2 playing out. I agree with the night 1 match being the tag team match for the main event. I do think somehow, some way, Cody wins the title at night 2.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can't end it any other way. After last year, people still, including myself, say that Cody should have won it last year because Roman hasn't needed the title and hasn't really defended it hardly, once or twice maybe since then. So Cody should have won last year, but didn't. So he has to finish the story this year, no matter what. Point blank, period. And I feel like this press conference kickoff show did exactly what they wanted to. They wanted something that people will talk about forever, pretty much. And I feel like they're pretty much going to get that. So I think it was a job well done by everybody involved in this show.
Yep.
I feel like this WrestleMania will be too. Any last comments on that before we move on to SmackDown? All right. Speaking of, you kick off the show, you got the SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis in the ring, Raw General Manager Adam Pearce, and out comes the COO of WWE, Paul Triple H Levesque, who announces that the main event is official for night 2 between Cody Rhodes and the undisputed WWE champion, as he put it. He didn't put Universal in there. Roman Reigns. And that if you had a problem with it, then you needed to know your role and learn to like it, because Triple H is the one in charge. He's the only one that gets to make these decisions. So Triple H kind of put a couple of other digs in there against Rock and Roman in that promo, but pretty much was asserting his authority, if you will. And then we'd get the announcement from Pearce and Aldis of the 12 men that will be involved in the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches to determine who will go on to face Seth Rollins for the world title at WrestleMania. What was your guys' take on that opening segment for SmackDown between the 3 authority figures?
Well, I like it, but the way Triple H said he's the only one that can make decisions about WrestleMania. If he checks his paycheck, it says TKO Dwayne Johnson.
Right?
Like, Triple H, did you forget that The Rock
Yeah,
is your boss?
He's on the board, that's for sure, but
yeah.
John, what was your take on the whole opening promo?
You know, I liked it, and I thought it was funny going online afterwards and just seeing how, oh my goodness, is Triple H going to fight The Rock at Mania? No, it's not going to happen. Shut up about it. For reasons beyond control.
Yeah, really. We all know Triple H can't.
Only if you want Triple H to die in the ring.
I mean, if you talk to The Rock, he probably won't mind at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Wise, you're right, probably, but so let me get your opinions on this then. The 12 men that were revealed for the qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber, you got 6 from Raw, 6 from SmackDown. They have Drew McIntyre, Ivar, Big Bronson Reed, The Miz, Sami Zayn, and I'm drawing a blank. Who was the 6th guy from Monday Night Raw?
Dominic
Mysterio, yeah.
I really hope Dominic's in the
And then from SmackDown, of course, you got the Phenomenal One, AJ. You got the Phenomenal. We'll get into that. The Phenomenal Orton, Kevin Owens, the United States Champion himself, Logan Paul. You're gonna make me think about that now too. Who else was the other two guys? KO, Logan, AJ, Orton, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You? I leave that open for Eddie every week, and I don't get nothing. Come on, guys.
I know. Damn it. Sorry.
And, of course, the almighty Bobby Lashley. It's okay. What do you think of these 12 guys being the ones that get to be in the qualifying matches? I mean, obviously, John wants Eddie and wants Dom to be in there for some reason. So,
because it'd be fun to watch him get his ass kicked and thrown around the chamber like a little blow-up doll, like he is.
It's okay, right? You know. I get what John's saying. Yeah. Nick and Tom, you know, are really going to get their ass kicked by who we already know who there is. But yeah, I wish it was somebody else that they could pick. But you know, you get what you get.
You know, they say it's going to be Dirty Dom, but watch, R-Truth will take a spot.
Right. that would be hilarious. All right. So they would eventually reveal all 6 matches that will take place, which we'll get into. But it would lead to Drew McIntyre coming out. He's going to be AJ Styles in this first opening match, qualifying match. He's going to go on to win the Elimination Chamber again, and will then finally, in front of a crowd, win the World Heavyweight Championship, but not for the fans this time. It'll be for himself. Good promo there from Drew, leading into the really good match that him and AJ Styles would have. Of course, with Drew McIntyre hitting a Claymore out of nowhere on AJ after a little interference by LA Knight.
Yeah.
Left it open for you guys. Drew's going on to the Elimination Chamber. AJ gets to hit the showers. Who knows what's going to go on with him. What did you guys think of the whole match and the promo from Drew leading up to the match? Of course, LA Knight was on commentary for the match.
I like it. The match is good. It was just a little surprising that it was 2 heels. And you always think, okay, you're gonna get AJ Styles, you know, because AJ Styles, but the way it looks, that it's going to be possibly at Mania, LA Knight versus AJ Styles, or they're going to go with one, you know, Carl Anderson and AJ Styles. It's like, you don't know, but yeah, I mean, but when Drew won, he looked like a kid in his candy store. Oh, look, I'm going to WrestleMania, mommy.
No, the hell you ain't. You going to Australia. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yep, you got to get a shrimp on a barbie.
You got to win in Australia first. We'd find out from there that the main event would be the other qualifying match for the men's Elimination Chamber between Sami Zayn and Randy Orton, which we'll get into that match in a little while. I want to, but I'll bring this up. After they show Ryan Blaney, who's the current Cup champion, getting a little tour of the arena, they go to a video vignette of Pretty Deadly.
Yes,
they'd see
boy.
the queen in the clouds and would talk a bunch of baloney, pretty much, and claim that they'll get back to the top of the tag team division. Never been a fan, still not a very big fan of Pretty Deadly. I could care less about them. But what did you guys think of the whole vignette that they had, video that they had there?
I was taking a dump.
I don't blame you.
I was in the bathroom taking a pee, so yeah, like you know. But like, thanks for letting us know how crappy that
tells us
was.
everything we need to know. All right. Yeah, well, can't win them all, I suppose.
No.
All right. Move on from there to another Elimination Chamber qualifying match, this time for the Women's Chamber. Who would be the first to join Becky Lynch in the Women's Elimination Chamber? Would it be the EST, Bianca Belair, or the OC's Michin? And again, I think we all knew who was going to win this match. It was a foregone conclusion. They had a pretty decent match. Looked like Michin might actually pick up the win in a couple different spots there. She got the eat defeat at one point. Unfortunately, Bianca rolled out of the ring. She made a mistake, though, kind of pandering to the crowd as she went for a Styles Clash, and that cost her as Bianca 1-2-3. And then I thought she acted more like a kid in the candy store than Drew did as she was pointing up at the WrestleMania sign after winning that match.
I think we all knew that it was going to be, Bianca. Michin, she's sorry to say this. Her and her husband, and I love Keith Lee, they got some shitty creative on their side right now. They are Keith Lee's not even featured on AEW. True. I mean, they're both good wrestlers. I think they should just say the hell with it. We're going to TNA.
Because TNA doesn't give a crap about creative.
I mean, that's where she did her best work.
Isn't that where Michin started her career?
That's where she did her best work, Mia. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the dollhouse, right?
I said, I feel like she had her best work done. Yep. She was known as Jade back then, I do believe.
Yes.
All right. From there, they definitely need to do something different with Michin, that's for sure. Did you have anything you wanted to add about that match, John, before I move on?
Yes. I mean, you kind of already said it, but I think that was one of the best showings from Michin. 100%.
Yeah. We'll see more from her eventually, hopefully. Excuse me. All right. So then they... Excuse me just a minute, guys.
Oh, Jesus didn't go there, did he?
Is he okay?
Not sure, but he said take it from Breaker, Triple H, and the Heyman backstage fun.
All right, a second. Sorry about that. Had to step out for a minute.
Okay, you're okay?
So I'll take it from there. Yeah, no, I'm good. Just had a little tickle in my throat. Didn't want to go away. I had to grab a drink. Sorry about that.
It's all right, man.
Take it from there. They go backstage. You got Triple H meeting up with Bron Breakker for the first time. And Bron's asking Triple H for advice on where he should sign, as, of course, both Raw and SmackDown are trying to get Bron Breakker to sign with their brands. In comes Paul Heyman, though, who shakes hands with Bron Breakker. Bron ends up leaving. Heyman tries to get a word in with Triple H, but could tell that Triple H wasn't in the mood to talk, but would tell Triple H that he will come back next week, but he wouldn't be alone. That the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, will be on SmackDown next week. And so will The Rock. So, like I was saying earlier, the plot thickens as The Rock and Roman Reigns will be back on SmackDown next week, which is a double taping, as they'll be heading to, of course, the week after. Where will things stand after next week's SmackDown? We'll have to wait and see, but we're definitely going to get another confrontation between The Rock, Roman Reigns, and the game Triple H. What do you guys think of that whole scenario, seeing Bron Breakker in there trying to get advice from Triple H, and then also the little interaction he had with Paul Heyman?
It's a typical segment that was just around the main event of WrestleMania. Braun was just there because it was just something to fill until Paul Heyman came in.
I agree with Eddie on that one.
And it was nice to see Heyman and Breakker have a little interaction between each other. I mean, that could be an interesting pairing at some point in time, potentially down the road. So,
oh yeah.
So then we go from there to the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match, Bayley, coming out to talk about what had happened the week prior, the dissolution, if you will, of Damage Control. And as Bayley's talking, out comes Dakota Kai, who was conspicuously absent the week before. What did you guys think of the whole segment between Bayley and Dakota Kai, and Dakota claiming she wanted to tell Bayley what was going on and she's seen what was happening between Asuka, Io, and Kairi, but just couldn't do anything about it?
All right, two things. Number one, Dakota Kai looked damn fine last night. I mean, yeah. Number two, Dakota Kai is double agent. You know she's the one calling the shots. She's pulling the strings. It's Dakota Kai is running everything. She's bringing Bayley in close. She's going to stab Bayley in the back before Mania. Dakota Kai is the freaking ringleader, the true leader of Damage Control. Man, yeah.
I fully agree with all of that, to be honest.
Oh my God, that's why they call me the Brain. I said to Tony right before you came on, I think Dakota Kai is the brainchild, and they're going to have a match at Chamber, and she's going to turn on Bailey and join Damage Control because she's the new leader. Damn it, I'm good.
Yep, that's what you're saying.
Oh, and by the way, yes, Dakota Kai was super hot yesterday. Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
See Dakota turning on Bailey, and
she's from Australia, right?
I think she
but
is.
Of course, when you talk about that segment, we can't forget about how, yes, I do believe so.
Turn on Bailey in front of her home country. Hell
Yeah, like I was saying, when you're talking about that segment, you can't forget about the fact. Right? Of course, Io and the Kabuki Warriors would come out. Dakota would grab the chair. Well, it looked like Dakota first, as Eddie and I were talking earlier, and Eddie mentioned, it looked like Dakota was going to hit Bailey at first with that chair. Whether or not that was an intentional or just goofed when she went to aiming for Bailey at first or whatever, we'll have to wait and see. But then she would just kind of thwart off Kairi and Io and Asuka. She didn't actually hit any of them with the chair. Almost did, but they'd back off, and then Bailey would end up with the chair from Dakota and throw it away. Dakota and Bailey would be standing tall to end the segment. Yeah, I feel like you definitely could trust Dakota more if she would have actually hit one of the three members of Damage Control, or whatever you want to call those three ladies still.
The Asian persuasion.
Definitely iffy. There's cracks in her story. Let's put it there you go. All right. And from there, you got a little backstage segment from the Street Profits, B-Fab and Lashley, as they were talking up Bobby Lashley, as he will go on this upcoming Monday night to face Big Bronson Reed in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Which, honestly, I feel like Bronson ended up winning thanks to interference from Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Yes,
man,
that's a
match. That's a beefy match right there. That should be the new Sherpa Deep beefy raviolis right there.
I forgot who they say that Ivar was taking on.
Oh, he's seen it. Ivar is going to go up against who was it?
Ivar.
Not KO. It's drawing a blank on the SmackDown guys now again. LA Knight.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, so Ivar's not making the chamber. Got it.
No, I'm making the chamber.
But yeah, man, Ivar was throwing
because then on Smack, because on SmackDown next week you got Miz versus Logan Paul, and then Ivar versus LA Knight in the other, because it'll be KO versus Dom on Raw Monday night.
Oh, geez.
Besides Bronson and Bobby.
So much for Dom making the chamber.
Or what Truth calls him.
I disagree with that. Miz. I feel like Logan Paul.
So then is it Logan versus the Miz?
Yeah, our Truth called him Miz. Anything like Miz. Yes, Logan Paul is going against the Miz. Next week on SmackDown.
Why?
To see who can qualify for the Elimination Chamber.
I really hope the Miz gets the win in that match. I
So
really
what
do.
I think is going to happen, I think Logan Paul is going to actually win. Well, maybe. We'll see.
I said Miz.
I think Logan will win.
No, Miz.
We'll see. All right. But anyway, they'd go from that. The number one contenders match for the undisputed team titles. You got the big strong boy Tyler Bate and the bruiserweight Pete Dunne, British strong style. Very, very good tag team match these two teams had. Of course, they both won their qualifying match, fatal four-way matches the week before on each show, and in the end, British strong style still growing strong as they are still undefeated as a tag team since he who the name that shall not be said reverted back to Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, has not lost a match yet.
But.
I said not said.
But.
I'll mute you.
But.
Like I said, I felt like it was a really good match, and in the end, Johnny Gargano would fall from Pete Dunne as Dunne and Bate are heading to the Elimination Chamber to face Damian Priest and Finn Balor for the tag team titles.
Oh, because what they're gonna rotate.
What was your guys' take on that tag team match?
I just think it's a typical NXT beatdown, but 4 guys that were former world champions. You know, you got the UK champions against the NXT champions. You know, so when they work together, dominant.
John?
I mean, I agree with what Eddie was saying. In other words, the U.S. lost this Revolutionary War.
What is a stance?
That's one way to say it, I guess. Wow. Oh, crap. Won't let me do it that way. This way, might. All right. So then they go backstage, have the little segment between Byron Saxton talking with Dominic Mysterio. In would come KO, who would be revealed as Dom's opponent next week, which would bring in R-Truth to a loud pop from the North Carolina crowd, of course, because Truth is from Carolina, from North Carolina area. And hence mentioning R-Truth calling KO Miz and saying that Miz needs to watch out for Nick, which KO thought he meant Tom and Nick Mysterio, but he actually Truth meant Nick Aldis, because Nick Aldis was very strict about guys on SmackDown, and that Miz is supposed to be on Raw. Oy.
He's such a dork. He doesn't like the Miz.
You're right. He doesn't look nothing like the Miz.
He's better than the Miz.
That is true. KO is better than the Miz. That was that segment. That leads us in. Of course, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce had a segment backstage with Logan Paul. Logan saying he doesn't deserve to be in a qualifying match. He should just be in the Elimination Chamber. He should be getting rock treatment. Should be getting flown in and all that other crap. But he will go on to win the Elimination Chamber and will then go to WrestleMania and become a double champion. So he ends up thanking Nick Aldis in the long run, which Adam says, you got your hands full with that one. Have fun. All right. nothing else really to add to that, unless you guys got something you want to say about it before we move into the main event of SmackDown.
Logan Paul, buddy, you're not doing all that.
No? Okay. Then we get the main event match, the Elimination Chamber qualifier between Sami Zayn and the Viper, Randy Orton.
The Viper.
And these two had a very competitive match, and we seen for the first time since he returned, the Viper would actually hit a top rope superplex on Sami Zayn. Sami went after Randy's back more so than anybody else has since Randy returned, though. I will mention that.
He really wanted to win.
He did. What did you guys think of the match? I mean, Randy obviously, won the match, but with an RKO out of nowhere. Overall, what did you guys feel about that match and how Sami looked even in defeat?
I liked Sami hitting that blue tiger bomb.
Go ahead, John.
On Randy. That was awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Good match between two guys that are really good at what they do. We knew the match was going to be Randy's. He goes into the chamber. Sami Zayn's on a different path. I see him. I don't want to say this, but I see him being in a triple threat match for a title at Mania. He has been a potential triple threat match for a title. I feel like Sami's time on Raw is good, but he's got to change some scenery. He's got to go. He has to go onto the Blue brand and start figuring out what he wants to do. And I feel like he's going to go for a title at Mania and a potential triple threat match for a title.
What are you talking about? Sami Zayn is going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
No.
Yeah, that can be.
I put Roman
Reigns. No. Sami would deserve a bigger spot than that at WrestleMania.
And they don't even have WrestleMania anymore.
That's my point.
They do it the night before, which is dumb. Like, just put it on the.
So then after
that one,
we see that match. Of course, you get the little stare down between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, the two guys that have qualified for the Elimination Chamber. Two men that definitely are no strangers to each other. Also, two men who have won the Elimination Chamber in the past. So I feel like they're probably going to be two guys that are going to be odds-on favorites to win at this year's Elimination Chamber as well.
Yeah, they both won the WWE Championship.
Yep.
More than one. More than one time.
So what was your overall take on the ending of SmackDown and SmackDown altogether, guys?
It was a bloodline-packed SmackDown.
It was smacktastic.
It was pretty good off the heels of the WrestleMania kickoff press conference, I felt like.
Yeah.
Even though the only member of the Bloodline you've seen live on the show was Paul Heyman. It's still a really good show.
Yeah, Paul Heyman, the Walrus.
Oh.
Yep.
Whoa! He called himself to
And he actually wasn't even out in front of the live crowd. He was just backstage, too. So.
He called himself to watch me, but he's pretty dumb. Because He tries to punch Kevin Owens, and he got stuttered. I was like, "You're so young."
But anyway, so we got 4 more Elimination Chamber qualifying matches coming up for the men's side. 2 on Raw, 2 on SmackDown. How do you think those matches are going to play out? Who do you think is going to be going on into the Elimination Chamber to join Drew and Randy?
LA and the Miz. Bronson.
I see.
think,
Oh, go ahead, John.
I think it's going to be The Miz, KO, LA Knight, Eddie,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and my hot take on it, Big Bronson Reed.
Okay, you got one right. The Bronson Reed one. Kevin
Nice.
Owens. Yes, I think Kevin Owens. Logan Paul. Yes, because they want a storyline with that. Who else am I missing? What other match am I missing?
You're missing Ivar versus LA.
You're missing Ivar and LA Knight.
Ivar.
Yeah.
Yes, it hurts me to say that, but I think AJ Styles is going to interfere.
I don't know who you are anymore.
I think AJ Styles.
You might not be wrong.
There's just going to be a lot of beef.
It wouldn't be surprising. I mean, LA Knight kind of cost AJ.
Yeah. I don't want to say
Yes.
that about LA Knight. Yeah.
So, my 4.
I don't want to say it, but
Yeah.
I just see it going that way.
Right. So my 4 are kind of similar to John's in a way. I got Big Bronson Reed, thanks to help from Karrion Kross. And then I've got LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on SmackDown side, I got Logan Paul managing to get past Miz. But I think KO loses because of Logan Paul getting involved.
So you
Dom
got
ends up
Dominic
the
in.
chamber. Yes. I got Dom in the chamber.
And being the first one eliminated.
No.
What are you talking about? Dominic's going to win the whole thing.
Oh, God, no.
Mysterio versus Seth freaking Rollins for the world title at Wrestling. Well, I mean, they could.
Because
Priest
then
is still
Damien
missing
Priest
Money in
can
the Bank.
cash in.
Don't forget this.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's what they're going to do.
Yes. Maybe.
Dominic pulls the huge upset, wins the title, and then Damien breaks up the Judgment Day by cashing in.
Ooh, I never thought of that.
Right? That could happen.
No, please.
So we know those matches are big.
No, let's not do it.
I mean, look what Dom did in the Rumble.
It'll be interesting to see what yeah. You can see what happens with all that. I still think their plan is more so Dom versus somebody else at WrestleMania, but probably Drew getting that title match against Seth. But we'll see. You never know.
No, not good.
Probably.
No.
It'd be interesting to see the whole confrontation between Triple H and Rock and Roman Reigns on SmackDown next Friday as well. See where things go from here when it comes to the CEO or the COO and then the board member for TKO button heads.
And then we have a KO with an NWO.
Anything else in particular you got? KO and an NWO?
Yeah.
Yeah, well. Oh. So there's rumors that WrestleMania next year, WrestleMania 41, might be in Las Vegas. That came out today.
That'd be a perfect spot for it.
That would make sense since that's. Yeah.
I mean,
well, gentlemen,
the main event will be a cage fight.
What?
A cage fight between who?
Conor McGregor
Cody
and Logan Paul.
Oh my God, I hope that would be an interesting main event.
Daddy's home.
Surprise.
Oh, man, how are you?
Well, you know, I couldn't have missed this show for the world, so I had to come over here and pester some people. So I heard through the grapevine that some people actually missed Daddy. That's very
Yes, Dad. Hold on. Yes, Daddy, I missed you.
Well, to be honest, I missed you all too. I missed you all too. I missed you all too.
Right here, who needs the 4 horsemen when you got the 4 horsemen right here?
Oh, yeah. I've been called everything from the Jim Cornette podcast to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh,
I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't say I'm a Joe Rogan now.
Please, nobody wants to talk about the Midnight Express.
I've been called a lot of things, but yeah, I've just been putting in the grind.
But we're glad you're doing better, my brother. It's great to see you.
Yeah, my health was a little bit questionable at some time because honestly, I was giving too much, man. I was giving too much to people, and I was like, wasn't really getting anything in return.
No, but we're glad you're here, and I'm glad you're here, man. It's great to see you.
Oh yeah. Oh, in the summer, I am going on a little trip, and I'm excited to say I'm not going there for any particular reason, but I'm going to be going.
And your favorite rocket ship?
I'm going to be going to North Carolina. Not going there for any particular reason. If you're thinking I'm going there for VTW, you're wrong. I'm not actually. Like dead ass. I'm actually going there because honestly, I've never been there before.
Darn.
Yeah, I mean, that ship has sailed. So let me just put it this way. There was talks between me and VTW until there wasn't. Okay. I want to prove that I'm more than just a fan. And I'm tired of being looked at as just a spectator. I'm much more than that. With my experience, I think I could really capitalize on a lot of things. I mean, I've proven it. People have said I can't run a podcast, and I proved them wrong. And what happened? I changed the game when I made my fucking Shoot the Shit podcast for a year. Some shit got done. And then once again, people underestimate the nice guy once again. And what happens? I go in and I fucking create one of the most talked about, still one of the most controversial storylines of all time. Don't believe me? Ask Cameron Jackson. He'll tell you himself.
Oh my God.
To the point where he actually had to break character and say it was all a work.
Right?
That's right. But anywho, and I'm in talks with somebody that actually used to work for APW, and we're very good friends. A little person named the Reaper Dante Black.
Oh.
I'm good friends with him, and I'm really good friends with Vita. They're really nice people. And yeah, I kind of work at a little place called VPW, and I've done some stuff over there with Danny Darko and all those guys over there, the Freak Show Danny Darko, and guys like that. I'm working with those guys, man. I'm in the process of getting into training, so like actually professional training. Like at 37 years old, I'm finally starting to get a little bit of training. So I can do this shit professional. I'm dead fucking serious about it. So yeah.
Hey, it's never too late. I mean, look at DDP.
Look, Diamond Dallas Page won the World Heavyweight title at 38 years old. Then he went around the year after that and won it again. And he beat a 25-year-old to do it. That's the way I look at it. So if Diamond Dallas Page can do it, anybody can. But anywho.
Least none of us are a David Arquette.
Still slightly better than Kevin Federline, but
damn right. Yeah, I got you.
True.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, nobody's as bad as K-Fed.
Unfortunately.
Hell, his ex-wife could be a wrestler because she's like swinging knives around and everything. So,
let me just put it this way: the last time I was here, I was working on becoming a champion in Best of the Best. Let me just put it this way: some things were said. I wasn't very happy about it, and I didn't feel like I felt like some things had changed around that place for the worse, and I feel like the double standard was not cool. I literally spoke about something, and I got shitted on for it, but yet, literally the week after I spoke out about this, someone else spoke about it, and it got changed right away. So I'm like, well, I'm glad I'm retired. I just got sick of the fucking politicking. I got tired of the bullshit. So I'm not a heartless person. I'm sorry. I can't be cutthroat like everyone else. I'm sorry, Best of the Best. I can't be as cutthroat as everyone else. I'm sorry. I'm not your favorite. I don't really care. In words of Shady Sean McKenzie, they have their favorites. And as you can tell, I've gotten a new circle. As you can tell, I've gotten a new circle. A lot of great people, man. A lot of greats to do it, man. Yeah. Guys like now not only do I have Tyler Aiken and Drew Hood and all those guys, but now I got some new favorites. I got DJB, I got Danny Darko, I got Dante Black, I got Shady Sean McKenzie. Some really good people. Your boy's been busy. He's been busy, man. I'm telling y'all. I've been busy. Your boy's been busy. I told you, man. I've been busy.
Is he good?
Yep. We got our own Titus O'Neil.
I wouldn't go there. I mean, minus the talent.
Yeah, minus the talent, yeah.
And the relevance. I think he's more like a not David Arquette, but David Otunga.
Yeah.
Oh, the Liv Morgan simp hasn't said anything since I came here. Dad with the smile over there. I see you. Simp Morgan hasn't said anything.
Oh, I've been waiting for this day.
Why haven't you said anything?
Yeah.
Well, John,
It's good to see you again, buddy.
retort.
I'm so glad. I'm glad. It's good to be back. Seriously, it's really good to be back. A lot happened. A lot has happened since I've been gone. The Rock turned heel. I mean, Jesus.
Sue?
Man, I
So,
mean,
Kevin, let me get you. Yep.
Freaking Rock Cody in the thing.
What do you think of all that that's going on between Rock, Cody, and Roman and Triple H?
to be honest, to the mentally ill, idiotic, fucking retards known as fans that are sending death threats to people that have nothing to do with it, I'm being dead fucking serious. This is for you. You're not a true fan. Go fuck yourself. If this was ECW, you would have got knocked the fuck out. Just saying. Just saying. You deserve it. You deserve to get beat up. And I really hope it happens one day.
Yeah.
No. This man,
you're not a true friend. You're not a true fan.
This man is preaching to the choir. If it was the original ECW, yeah, you would have got your ass knocked out.
Dude, New Jack would have took a staple gun to your face, dude. Are you serious? That's just how it is. Like there are two things you don't do in this. There are three things you don't do in that business. All right. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I know there are three things you don't do. You don't disrespect a 10-bell salute. You don't jump the barricade unless you're gonna fuck around and find out. And three, you don't send death threats. Did you learn anything from what happened with Abby from The Last of Us? Like, come on now. I'm just saying that person that did that, those people that did that, when you don't let a story play out. Like, come on, y'all. And I get it, you're still mad about last year. You're still pissed off about it. But you know what you do? You know what the true fans do? We suck it up. We get over it. And we watch shit and we find out how the fuck things are going to play out. So do us all a favor, and I mean this from the goodness of my heart. Shut the fuck up and watch. Thank you. But for the rest of you,
right?
In words of Will Smith from Independence Day, welcome to Earth. But well played on Thursday. I mean that. Like, that was well played. It was beautiful. Like, my buddy of mine was like, damn, The Rock slapped Cody. I'm like, dude, I couldn't have thought any other way to do this. It was well played. It was. We did not see a press conference at all that day. It was, in words of Ollie Davis, it was cinema. It was cinema. We all knew that eventually it was going to be Cody and Roman, but inevitably it's going to be a triple threat. Yep. We're going to have another Daniel Bryan, Triple H, and Batista situation. Yeah. That's what it's looking like. And The Rock turned heel right in front of our eyes. And it's good to see it. I'm just hoping that he brings back his 03 Hollywood song. I would love that. Just saying. But other than that,
well, you won't have to wait to find out.
Raw was still garbage. It's still trash. SmackDown's still it's not all garbage. I'm not going to say it was all garbage. Raw was decent this week. Decent. We're getting Botcha Jax versus Rhea Ripley, so there's that. The queen of let's botch every move and no sell everything.
That's literally not of it.
Like, hey,
fellas. I don't mean
hear a joke.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I gotta get going because I gotta get to bed early for tomorrow. So I gotta let you go. But Tony, just text me what time next week. But I just gotta get going.
Oh yeah, it was nice seeing you again.
Yeah, you're all good.
Yeah, but hey, I'll talk to you guys next. I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to make it back now that I'm mentally sharp again. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start making it back here.
Talk to you guys soon.
Yep.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Later.
Yeah.
Now that I'm mentally sharp again, now that I'm me again, I think it's time that I come take my crown back. Now that I am mentally sharp again. I've been so focused on other things for the last 6 months. You know, chasing this pipe dream of mine of becoming champion in a freaking E-Fed. And no matter how many times the deck has been stacked against me, you know, I've been focused on that, and I haven't been focused on what I should have been focused on, and it mentally fucked me up for a while. But I'm back now to being me. But I'm still gonna be me. I'm still gonna be unapologetic. If nobody likes it, well, you know where to stick it. And don't you dare put me on timeout again, Tony, or we're gonna have a problem. I'm getting tired of you and put me on timeout every time. Stop it. This man right here, that man up there, Tony, that guy right there,
don't become a tangent.
Messages me after the last time I was on. Am I going to have to put you in timeout again? Nobody puts me on timeout. I'm putting you there, telling you that right now. Nobody puts me on timeout but me. And I can barely put myself on timeout.
Good.
No, but you know, I love you, man. You're a good dude. That man, Tony, man, I tell you what, I would not be the man I am today if it wasn't for him, though, giving me the opportunity to be on here and bug you guys.
Thanks. I do what I can.
But
just
yeah,
a platform.
How about that heel turn from Adam Page? Oh, correction, the double turn.
Yes.
Not only did we get a turn from Swerve, but we got a turn from Adam Page as well.
About time for Swerve to be officially a face again. So
Swerve just needs to go out there and just be Swerve. Like, just let him go for the world title just one time, dude. Just he'll be a great champion. You know, he'll be a fantastic champion. I don't know what it is about them not pulling the trigger on Swerve. Like, what are they afraid of? Is he going to actually be a good champion? One that people aren't going to forget?
Yep.
Maybe.
I mean, we've had some good ones. We've had some good champions. You know, we've had MJF. You know, we've had Jericho. We've had CM Punk. We've had. Oh wait, we didn't have Adam Cole. He's about due for one too.
What? No. Yeah, because it wasn't broke because he did something dumb.
But anyway, I figured I'd let you come in and get a little bit of time on screen tonight. We were wrapping up, getting ready to. So, for now, I give you a chance to plug your Twitch or whatever you want to plug before I pull the plug on this show.
Twitch.tv/chubbygamer. I actually have something going on. It's I'm speed running every letter in the alphabet, one game, every letter in the alphabet. All you guys got to do is tell me what console it's for. That's it.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, it was nice having you back in here for our review show for this week. Kevin, always good to see you in here. Thanks to anybody who watched. Thanks to Eddie as always. Next week. All right. Look forward to it. Next week we'll probably do next Saturday again, but we'll talk and see. And of course, in 2 weeks, we got a big show, prediction show to do.
What was that September?
Quite late show too at that point, but we'll get into that more
What
next
time
week.
late?
Yeah, thanks for watching.